Hey, today I will be talking about planet Jupiter, a little bit about his history, some astronomy, and then I will move on to Jupiter in houses and signs of the zodiac. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, the fifth planet from the Sun. It is also the oldest planet, formed from gases and dust left over from the Sun's formation 4.5 billion years ago, also formed 1 million years after the Sun and about 50 million years before Earth. Jupiter has the shortest day of all the planets in our solar system, taking only 10.5 hours to spin around once on its axis, and makes a complete orbit around the Sun in about 12 Earth years, which is a year in Jovian time. Jovian is the adjectival form of Jupiter from the older jovial, used by astrologers in the Middle Ages, meaning happy or merry, thus describing the moods of Jupiter's influence in astrology. He is the fourth brightest natural object in the Earth's sky, after the Sun, the Moon, and Venus, although at opposition, Mars can appear brighter than him. It is visible with the naked eye in the night sky and can even sometimes be seen during daytime when the Sun is low. Jupiter got his name after the king of gods in Roman mythology. He has four large moons named Io, Europa, Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, and Callisto, and many smaller moons, officially recognized 95 moons. Galileo Galilei was the first one who observed the four larger moons using an early version of telescope in 1610, and these four moons are known today as Galilean satellites. Observation of Jupiter goes back to at least Babylonian astronomers of the 7th or 8th century BC. This planet represented their god Marduk, chief of their pantheon from the Hammurabi period. The ancient Chinese knew Jupiter as Sui star or Sui Xing, the year star, and established their cycle of 12 terrestrial branches based on the number of years it takes Jupiter to rotate around the Sun. By the 4th century BC, these observations have developed into the Chinese zodiac. The ancient Greeks knew the planet as Phaethon, meaning shining one or blazing star. In Vedic astrology, Hindu astrologers named the planet after Brihaspati, a god and deity associated with fire and the religious teacher of the gods, known as the Guru. When Jupiter is near opposition, he will appear to go into retrograde motion for a period of about 121 days. He goes into retrograde motion roughly once every 9 months. In astrology, it is thought that Jupiter retrograde could bring some kind of change in luck and fortune, good or bad. Something interesting, if Jupiter was hollow or a hollow shell, 1,000 Earths could fit inside. Jupiter's Great Red Spot is a giant storm bigger than Earth that has raged for hundreds of years, or at least since 1831. There are some reports that this spot has been observed earlier in 1664 by Robert Hooke and in 1665 by Giovanni Domenico Cassini, Italian mathematician, astronomer, and engineer, but this is disputed. The planetary symbol for Jupiter descends from a sixth letter of the Greek alphabet, zeta, with a horizontal stroke or scribal abbreviation used by ancient and medieval scribes writing in Latin and later in Greek and Old Norse. In astrology, Jupiter is a social and beneficent planet, known as the Greater Fortune, the author of temperance, justice, and moderation. It is considered that the house in which Jupiter is found may be an area where one is lucky, or where one can get away with things. Jupiter's placement can usually describe an area where one can enjoy a certain measure of protection. Also, it can be connected with opportunities. In a chart, among other things, it shows generosity and wealth or abundance, confidence, optimism, growth and expansion, space, freedom, higher education, gambling, and search for meaning. But it can also show greed and dissatisfaction, extravagance, hypocrisy, inflation, and grandiosity. Jupiterians are very fond of show and display. In which house Jupiter is and its aspects may be more important than the Jupiter sign position. The sign position may be of more interest if Jupiter is rising or is prominently placed elsewhere. Simply said, Jupiter in a natal chart shows how we best broadcast ourselves into the world. Now let's move on to Jupiter in houses and signs. Jupiter in the first house, when well aspected, may be a good sign of health and general fortune in life. It can give good-natured and kind personality, and these individuals may like pleasure, especially outdoor pleasure, and are fond of traveling. One may have considerable executive abilities and because of that might be sought for positions of importance and responsibility. In later years, one may be prone to stoutness. If afflicted in the first house or the ascendant, Jupiter may give tendency to self-indulgence according to the sign where he is placed. Even in Cancer, where he is exalted, he may cause gluttony, and one inevitably becomes larger in overall physical build in the course of years, and also the liver may be enlarged. In his home sign of Sagittarius, it can make one a gambler who would stake his soul on the flip of the coin. In Pisces, one may become addicted to alcohol, and when afflicted in Scorpio, one may become extravagant hedonist. The Jupiter in Aries may give a high-spirited, energetic, and ambitious mind, always looking for new and progressive methods usable for advancement in the world's work, making one a true pioneer, neither too impulsive nor too conservative, a thoughtful, sincere, honest, and trustworthy personality. It may give some literary and legal abilities and popularity in social and business circles. If Jupiter is afflicted, mind may not be so well balanced and may cause rash and impulsive acts, making one impatient, causing loss of esteem and popularity. Jupiter in the second house, when well aspected, especially by the Sun or the Moon, is one of the nicest positions for overall financial prosperity in life. This is a fortunate position even when Jupiter is afflicted, but one may be liable to losses under bad directions. When Jupiter is unexpected here, he might give no help. Jupiter in Taurus, when well aspected, gives highly kind and sympathetic nature, and this position also attracts wealth and gives a generous disposition. Yet Jupiter here is usually not overly lavish or extravagantly generous, but more cautious, conservative, and inclined to investigate merits of any proposition before extending a helping hand. When it comes to family and those who are near and dear, one can be very open and giving. When Jupiter is afflicted in Taurus, it inclines towards extravagant expenditures for show, display, and gratification of lower nature, taking the easy way out of things for which most people have to work. One may experience financial difficulties and trouble with creditors. Jupiter in the third house, when well aspected, gives a mind of a very optimistic nature even when bad times hit. One may have exceptional educational advantages, and education which one may receive will be of great benefit. Success is indicated by traveling, writing, and publications. When Jupiter is afflicted in the third house, one may be prone to destruction of the mind and accidents may happen, although injuries may not be life-threatening. If Saturn afflicts, one may become careless and lethargic or lazy, losing the respect and esteem of one's immediate family, while if Mars afflicts, family might distrust one due to rash and unwise acts. Now Jupiter in Gemini is in detriment, but when well aspected may give literary ability of a high class, and if that is backed up by necessary education, success is almost certain. One might say these people are teachers by example, as their lessons may go beyond strictly academic. This position may also show interest in mathematics and an attraction towards the occult. Jupiter in Gemini may indicate travel bringing pleasure and profit, and usually these people are of friendly disposition. If Jupiter is afflicted, one may have a number of close escapes from accident. Success may be muted by restlessness. It can show superficial knowledge, may cause legal and religious trouble, and difficulties with siblings and close relatives. Jupiter in the fourth house, when well aspected, can be very fortunate for home and family conditions, especially in the latter part of life. Individuals with this position might be more well off in their place of birth than somewhere else. One may also receive help from parents and possibly some inheritance. Business affairs may be on solid basis and run smoothly, so at some point in life there might be a considerable accumulation of sources according to one's environment, thus spending days in peace. But when Jupiter is afflicted in the fourth house, it might be advisable for one to leave hometown relatively early in life, as the conditions may be detrimental for one's overall success. Afflicted Jupiter here indicates extravagant and lavish expenditure, love of display, which may even cause bankruptcy. Now, Jupiter in Cancer is exalted. It indicates the full effect of Jupiter for good or bad is not felt until the middle life. When well placed in Cancer, Jupiter may give exceedingly respectful disposition that is in peace with all the world, and one may be endowed with a vivid and fruitful imagination. There is also a practical side here, which makes one ambitious to attain success in investments, mostly property. When prominently placed, obesity may become a problem. If afflicted, one may have problems with health and other areas of life may suffer, as there will not be much ambition. It can also show the kind of personality who puts their own needs in front of others, as it imparts a me first kind of emotional selfishness. Jupiter in the fifth house and well aspected may give more than one child, and children may bring pleasure and even profit to the parents. It gives popularity and good friends who will always be helpful. This position indicates sociable and pleasure-loving disposition, and gain by speculation is possible, as is high intelligence and success in educational work. These individuals have a very convincing way of putting things. If Jupiter is afflicted in the fifth house, especially in Sagittarius, it can give a tendency towards gambling, and thereby losses are possible. Love for sports, but unwillingness for work. Troubles with children are also possible. Now, Jupiter in Leo blends kindness, courage, self-restraint, compassion, mercy, and justice. In short, it may indicate a paragon of virtues. Jupiter in Leo might give abundance of vitality, a strong constitution, making one a leader physically, morally, and spiritually. And one may not be content to follow, as crave for positions of trust and responsibility is prominent. If Jupiter is afflicted in Leo, one may become cruel and sensuous, abnormally fond of pleasure, and subject to loss by investment, speculation, or gambling. Jupiter in the sixth house can give good health and success in the care of the sick and needy, respect and esteem of all with whom one may come into contact in the course of one's occupation. If afflicted in the sixth house, it might cause obesity, problems with liver, and general disorders, some of which may be caused due to overindulgence of the appetite. Now, Jupiter in Virgo is also in detriment. Here it may give analytical, cautious, and practical nature, and it may be very difficult to hide the truth from these people. Well aspected Jupiter in Virgo may show a good employer or loyal employee. It indicates prosperity through business or professional vocations. It may not seem like that, but these individuals may gladly do what they could do to help if one approaches them. If afflicted, Jupiter in Virgo may become cynical, having a critical disposition, being mistrustful of others, and because of that liable to losses, as it may be very difficult to succeed in business and obtain or keep a position. These people may leave a standoffish impression on others and may be more likely to struggle with boundaries between their needs and their partners. Jupiter in the seventh house may give a noble, sympathetic, and great-hearted partner who may bring favor, fortune, and social prestige. This position may be an ideal position for successful marriage or entering into partnerships. Overall success may come by cooperation. If Jupiter is afflicted or weak in the seventh house, one may lose lawsuits, and partnerships or marriage may be delayed or even denied. It is advisable to be very wise before entering partnerships of any sort. Jupiter in Libra may give a sociable and benevolent nature, making one popular, especially with opposite gender. Indicates success in the business and in public life. Overall, great socializers of the chart are seen here. The opportunity for exploration and success tends to come through relationships. These individuals may prefer to travel in the company of another person. If Jupiter is afflicted in Libra, it may cause indulgence of the lower nature, bringing trouble or public scandal with a consequent loss of popularity and status. Jupiter in the eighth house, when well aspected, indicates financial gain by marriage, legacy, or partnerships, and when afflicted or weak, lawsuits and losses in connection with these matters. A well aspected Jupiter in the eighth house may also be a sign of an easy and peaceful termination of life. Now, Jupiter in Scorpio may give an enthusiastic, constructive, and resourceful mind, ensuring success in practical and everyday occupations. Jupiter in Scorpio individuals may be very good at handling other people's finances. These individuals usually have to feel emotionally involved in what they believe. This position may also show a tendency towards occult investigations. If afflicted, Jupiter in Scorpio may bring losses through the overindulgence in every form. Jupiter in the ninth house may give a peaceful and optimistic personality with religious tendencies. One may be broad-minded and tolerant of the opinions of others. These individuals may be respected in society and suitable to occupy prominent positions in educational institutions or philanthropic associations. Jupiter in the ninth house indicates love of travel, which may give gain and pleasure. If afflicted or weak in the ninth house by sign or aspect, it can cause arrogance and love of display, which is out of proportion and may cause social disgrace or humiliation. Dangers while traveling are also possible. A Jupiter in Sagittarius, when well aspected, may give good fortune and general success in life. These individuals can become leaders in various spheres of life. Sagittarius Jupiter may leave a good lasting impression on others around him, especially in social events. If afflicted, Jupiter in Sagittarius may make one extravagant and ready to take chance on any gamble, or can be very narrow-minded and lose social standing. Jupiter in the 10th house, when well aspected, can be one of the best indications of an eminently successful and virtuous life, especially if Jupiter is supported by Sun, the Moon, or Saturn, as this indicates rise to high positions, gaining wealth, honor, and social respect. One may deserve all the good that comes one's way due to noble and uncorrupted character. If Jupiter is afflicted or weak in this house, especially by Saturn or by the luminaries, the character may not be reliable. One may still rise, but may experience reversals of fortune and loss of prestige. Now, Jupiter in Capricorn is in the sign of its fall, but here it may give an ambitious nature, self-controlled, with a strong desire to rise to the position over others. One may have a careful economical disposition and may be resourceful. Wealth may come or be lost through the father figure. These individuals are trustworthy to a degree and usually hold their promises. Capricorn Jupiter is not so much mean as it is gifted with the ability to say harsh things. If afflicted, Jupiter in Capricorn may show a miser, hoarding all one can scrape together, even denying oneself all except the barest necessities, and may not be very liked by others around him. Jupiter in the 11th house, when well aspected, gives influential friends who may be relied upon. It may give a sociable disposition and fondness for pleasure. Well aspected Jupiter in the 11th house can indicate fruitful partnership or marriage. When afflicted, one either meets friends who are good and sincere in their desire to help but lack the ability to do so, or the friends whom one attracts come to reap benefits and exploit the individual. In any respect, one will not be helped much by friends and must depend upon one's own resources to attain desires. Now, Jupiter in Aquarius, when well aspected, may show a humane and philosophic mind, fond of people, especially those interested in science or mysticism, literature, and music. One may possibly obtain a position of importance in some official capacity with secret or occult societies. These people may thrive when they're talked about, but not necessarily when they're talked to. This position can also be good for working in aviation. If Jupiter in Aquarius is afflicted, it makes the personality restless, nervous, and erratic, with inclination for serious work, and one may be disliked and distrusted. Jupiter in the 12th house, when well aspected, brings gain and success through occupations carried in comparative seclusion, like work in hospitals or asylums. If individuals with this position are impoverished or destitute, they might receive much help from other people or institutions, and if they're well off, they tend to give lavishly, especially to charity. Also, if these people have enemies, they have a way of turning them into friends. If Jupiter in the 12th house is afflicted, it can make one inactive and wasteful, but may not cause much worry or trouble. Now, Jupiter in Pisces may give a hospitable, sensitive nature, subject to the influences from the invisible world, so these people may often have psychic experiences and become students of the occult. Jupiter in Pisces may flourish under abstraction, but can draw a blank when seeking solution to one's situation. If well aspected by Venus, Jupiter in Pisces may give considerable ability to make one a performer. If afflicted, it might give indecisive, doubtful mind, nerveless nature, indulging in all vices, making one almost a freeloader. Now, because Jupiter is strong in Pisces, any predisposition already shown in a natal chart towards taking on the role of a savior or a victim might be increased. And this is it. Thank you for being with me here today and for listening to me. So please subscribe, leave a comment if you like, press a like button, and I will be seeing you in a couple of days. Bye.